Ladies and gentlemen, we have some huge news to share with you. Of course, we are going to be talking about a report that JPMorgan published talking about how much money they think an XRP and Solana ETF are going to grab with the imminent, in my opinion, approval of an XRP ETF. Just earlier today in our daily market update, we looked at what Trump was planning on doing on day one of his presidency, and it is essentially to deregulate a lot of the overly zealously regulated legislation that relates to the cryptocurrency market. And of course, XRP is a massive part of that. What I want to do first is dive over to a report from BlackRock. Now, BlackRock released a report literally yesterday that spoke about adoption as it relates to the cryptocurrency space. And this is figure 1. It says adoption of crypto assets has outpaced growth for mobile phones and the internet. Now, on the surface of this, some of you may not think, okay, well, that's quite obvious. But what I want to highlight is just how impactful the internet and mobile phones are and the trajectory that the cryptocurrency space is on. And actually, we're going to dive into a clip of Jamie Dimon from JPMorgan actually talking about Bitcoin and the fact that he's not a fan of it. He doesn't see the value in it, but he does see the value in crypto more broadly. Just yesterday, we looked at the fact that XRP, or we spoke about the possibilities of XRP actually surpassing Bitcoin on the back end of a Wisdom Tree article. It wasn't the most popular video because it didn't really clickbait it up too much, but it was a really interesting one. Do go and check that video out from yesterday. But the reason that I'm highlighting this is think about mobile phones and how impactful they are. Billions and billions of users. They're essentially, we're kind of morphing into cyborgs as the human race. They're essentially our third arm. They're another brain for us, if you will, that we're kind of integrated in, and they are integral to day-to-day life. The same with the internet. Every business is on the internet, etc., etc. Distributed ledger technology, crypto, is on the same trajectory at a faster pace of adoption. Now, doesn't that just get you excited? It certainly gets me excited as somebody that covers this space so zealously. Let's talk about what JPMorgan just published. And this was a shot from their report. And what it's highlighting is the kind of value out there that the likes of XRP and Solana may be able to capture on the back end of an ETF, which I think is imminent. In fact, Brad Garlinghouse has said numerous times now that he thinks the same is very much going to be the case, or he thinks that's very much going to be the case. It's not just going to be XRP, Sol that are going to have ETFs. HBAR, one of our other favorite cryptos, very much in the running. A lot of others there, Litecoin, surprisingly. Obviously, as a fork of Bitcoin, or a fork of Lucky Coin, Bitcoin, Lucky Coin, Litecoin. And this is huge. This has big ramifications. People don't really quite grasp the fact that this is a new asset class and it's very much unsoiled ground in regards to capital coming into it. Now, we do see, and I just want to very quickly pivot before we come back to this, institutions actually likely buying XRP through the likes of some of the ETPs that are traded out there globally. We like to look every Monday at digital asset fund flows, and last week was a little bit lackluster, but the interesting thing to me was the highlighting of XRP. Ethereum saw massive outflows. XRP saw substantial inflows of $41 million last week. I wonder why that's all happening now. Remember, this is after that initial move for XRP. We've continued to reiterate, and we'll look at price towards the end of the video, that there's a lot more to come. $19.27 is our price prediction. I think it's going to go above and beyond. XRP saw substantial inflows of $41 million last week and remains primarily driven by political and legal factors, with inflows suggesting heightening optimism ahead of the 15th of January's SEC appeal deadline. And if you look actually in regards to how well XRP is doing in regards to the sort of cryptos that CoinShares tracks, the main ones in regards to inflows, XRP's weekly flows were substantial, monthly flows are substantial, yearly flows are substantial. In fact, significantly, or year to date, significantly more than Solana. But over the past sort of year, not quite the case. Solana's been heavily invested by institutions, at one point more so than Ethereum, obviously up until the ETF. But these are on a similar trajectory, and I think we're going to see more demand potentially for altcoins outside of Ethereum than we are of course, Ethereum, which has been a little bit lackluster. But this is their report. Figure 10, BTC and ETH ETPs make up only 3 to 6% of total tokens market capitalization. So it's putting into perspective here that ETPs actually only hold 3 to 6%, yet they've moved the market in the manner that they have. Figure 11, SOL and XRP ETFs could attract $3 to $8 billion as it relates to overall market cap, comparing them, of course, to Ethereum and Bitcoin. And you can get that from Solana's market cap at 90 billion at the time of recording and XRP's market cap at 156 billion. If it sees 3 to 6%, you're looking at around about sort of $6 to $8 billion inflow. In fact, I think it's going to be more than that. XRP is an institutional blockchain, ladies and gentlemen, for remittances. Institutions are going to want to gobble this up. Certainly if it plays the role that we believe it's going to. And I actually think it was Cointelegraph that broke this. Solana XRP ETFs may attract billions in new investment. Solana ETF applications aren't near the deadline for a preliminary decision before the end of January, days after President-elect Trump's inauguration on the 20th of January. Remember, in our daily market update, we looked at what we're essentially saying as it relates to what Trump's going to do on day one. He's going to go into this full force and he's going to start to break down a lot of those barriers that were originally put in place by the old SEC administration. In a January 13th report shared with Cointelegraph, JPMorgan projected that SOL and XRP ETPs may eclipse the performance of spot Ether ETFs in their first 6 months. When applying these so-called adoption rates to SOL and XRP, we see SOL attracting roughly 3 to 6 billion of net assets and XRP gathering 4 to 8 billion in net new assets. It's XRP that's in that number 3rd spot when it comes to the crypto space broadly, as it is, and that's before an ETF has even been approved. XRP, guys, mark my words on this, is going to engulf Ethereum's market cap this cycle. And eventually, do go and watch yesterday's video. It sounds out of the realms of possibilities. But actually, yesterday we looked at the potential for XRP to actually engulf Bitcoin's market cap, putting it at nearly $2 trillion. Now, that's well above our $19 price prediction that we got laughed at initially, but certainly no more. What I want to do now, guys, is actually dive over to a clip of Jamie Dimon yesterday talking about the crypto industry and his thoughts, certainly on Bitcoin. And actually, he said something very interesting. He says, crypto, not Bitcoin. And this is why we've always clowned the maxis. Maxis honestly believe that there's only one application for a distributed ledger, and that happens to be Bitcoin. That isn't even what the maxi theory was formed out of with Satoshi's white paper. We're not following that anymore. XRP, do go and watch yesterday's video. Honestly, it's a really good one. I think is going to be more widely adopted than the likes of Bitcoin. And you're talking trillions of dollars coming into it. And people say, oh, no, there's no way we could have $1 trillion market caps. Look at how fast Nvidia went from hundreds of millions to trillions. And if XRP truly succeeds in revolutionizing the traditional financial system, don't tell me that can't happen. So let's dive into that clip of Jamie Dimon.
That it's as useless as a pet rock. What do you really think?
You're going to have some kind of digital currency at one point. So I'm not against crypto. You know, Bitcoin itself has no intrinsic value. It's used heavily by sex traffickers, money launderers, ransomware. So I just don't feel great about Bitcoin. I applaud your ability to want to buy or sell it. Just like I think you have the right to smoke, but I don't think you should smoke.
It is indeed very interesting what he has to say there. I don't agree with what Jamie Dimon says in regards to illicit activity. Of course, you know, what isn't used for that, it's not the best thing to use, I don't think. In fact, I think it's, you know, something that's transactions are on chain forever, probably not a great idea. But the really interesting thing is what he says there. Crypto, a digital currency is coming. What's going to enable that digital currency? It's going to be XRP, in my opinion, guys. It has the most links to the traditional financial world. It's already been embraced by many of them. Just the other day, we looked at what Bank of America were doing, etc., etc., etc. There's this beautiful storm setting up, guys. Ultimately, get ready, embrace it. It's here. ETFs are coming. Global recognition of XRP is coming and usage of it. Right now is, you know, we're in that prime position. And the beautiful thing is fundamentally everything that we're looking at aligns asymmetrically with everything that we've done previously technically. We told you that this was coming, guys. We got a lot of stick for it because, of course, XRP's been a bit of a wet fish over the past 7 years. But I think deliberately to keep the retail, to keep the masses out whilst institutions load up on this. Because this is a rigged game, guys. But ultimately, with this breakout, what we have is a triggering of this wedge-like pattern that we believe is ultimately going to take you to $19. And on the shorter time frames, what XRP is doing is brilliant, guys. We've had this initial run. We've had this initial yawn and waking up. This is just going to be consolidation that's going to lead to continuation. In fact, I think we're already well and truly on that way. I think this pattern is broke. This is ultimately going to see XRP start to run towards the $3 plus range and then actually above and beyond and march even closer to that $19.27 price prediction we have. Also, if this turns out to be a massive bull pennant, which it very much looks like, you are potentially looking at $11 XRP price. I think you might even see that in the first quarter of this year, certainly with everything that's coming. Very interesting that JPMorgan now weighing in on the kind of inflows that XRP is likely going to see, and not just weighing in on it, saying that it's going to beat Ethereum. Huge. And we wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. We've got lots more XRP content coming for you. We just can't get it out fast enough in regards to all the interesting things that are going on. So do become a subscriber. Have a fantastic day, guys. I'm going to see you all in the next one.